I was sitting at my kitchen table on a Tuesday morning, drinking coffee in the house I built with my own hands 30 years ago, when my son Derek walked in with his girlfriend Cassandra. Derek, 31 years old, has been living with me for 2 years since his divorce. Derek stands in the doorway, arms crossed, and says the words that shatter my world. "Dad, Cassandra and I have been talking. We are getting serious, and we need our own space. It is time you moved out." My coffee cup freezes halfway to my lips. The silence that follows feels like it lasts forever. I just sit there, the steam from my coffee rising between us like some kind of barrier I cannot cross. Derek shifts his weight from one foot to the other, and Cassandra moves closer to him, linking her arm through his. She gives me this smile that does not reach her eyes, all teeth and no warmth. "We have been looking at our options," Derek continues, his voice taking on this rehearsed quality like he has practiced this speech in the mirror. "You have had your time here, Dad. I need to build my life now. Start fresh with Cassandra. This house is perfect for us, and honestly, you do not really need all this space anymore." I set my cup down slowly, carefully, because my hands have started to shake. "This is my house," I say quietly. "I built it. Your mother and I chose every fixture, every paint color. I am not going anywhere." Cassandra makes this little sound, almost like a laugh, but not quite. "Bruno," she says, using my first name like we are old friends, instead of two people who have barely had a real conversation in the 6 months she has been living under my roof. "You are 67 years old. This house is too much for you to manage alone. The yard work, the maintenance, the stairs. Derek and I have actually been taking care of you more than you realize." "Taking care of me?" The words come out sharper than I intend. "I have been cooking your meals, doing your laundry, cleaning up after both of you like I am running a bed and breakfast. I have been taking care of you." Derek's face hardens. "That is not how I see it, Dad. You are getting older. Your memory is not what it used to be. Last week you forgot where you put your car keys. The week before that, you left the stove on. I left the stove on once in 67 years. And I found my keys 10 minutes later in my jacket pocket where I always put them." Cassandra reaches into her purse and pulls out a brochure. She unfolds it on the table in front of me. "Sunrise Meadows Assisted Living. It looks like a nice place. They have activities every day. Bingo on Thursdays. Movie nights. You would have people your own age to spend time with." I stare at the brochure, with its glossy photos of smiling elderly people, playing cards, and doing arts and crafts. My throat feels tight. "You have been researching assisted living facilities, without talking to me. We wanted to have all the information before we brought it up," Derek says. "There is no point in having a conversation without options." I stand up from the table. My chair scrapes against the floor, loud in the quiet kitchen. "I need to show you something." I walk to my bedroom, and I can hear them whispering behind me, but I do not care. I open my safe, the one I installed myself in the back of my closet 30 years ago, and I pull out the property deed. The paper is old now, a little yellowed at the edges, but the words are still clear. My name. Maria's name, crossed through after she died. This house belongs to me. I walk back to the kitchen and set the deed on the table, right on top of their assisted living brochure. "This house is in my name. Paid off. Has been for 10 years. I am not going anywhere, and neither are you unless I say so." I expect Derek to back down, to apologize, to remember that I am his father, and this is my home. Instead, he picks up the deed, looks at it, and then looks at me with this expression I have never seen on his face before. Cold. Calculating. "Actually, Dad," he says slowly, "I have been paying the utilities here for 2 years. The property taxes, the maintenance costs. The new roof last summer, remember? That was $8,000. I have been keeping receipts. All of them. So what? I paid you back for half of that roof. Did you?" Derek pulls out his phone, starts scrolling. "I do not see any record of that. And my lawyer says that when someone pays the property taxes and maintains a property for an extended period, they might have a legal claim to it. Squatter's rights, adverse possession, something like that." "Your lawyer? You have already talked to a lawyer about taking my house?" Cassandra puts her hand on Derek's arm. "We are just trying to plan for everyone's future, Bruno. This does not have to be adversarial." I look at my son, really look at him, and I barely recognize the man standing in front of me. When did this happen? When did he turn into someone who would conspire to take his own father's home? My mind goes back to 2 years ago. Derek showed up at my door at 11 o'clock at night, his car packed with trash bags full of clothes. His wife Angela had kicked him out. He was crying, saying his life was over, that he had nothing left. I took him in without hesitation. I gave him Maria's old sewing room to sleep in. I let him stay as long as he needed. He had lost his job 3 months before Angela left him. He was depressed, sleeping until noon, barely eating. I cooked his favorite meals. I sat with him while he cried. I helped him update his resume. I paid for him to take some online courses to update his skills. When he finally got a job at that tech company downtown 11 months ago, I was so proud. I thought he was getting back on his feet, becoming himself again. Then Cassandra showed up 6 months ago. She just appeared one day, and suddenly she was staying overnight, then staying for weekends. Then she never left. I did not say anything, because Derek seemed happy for the first time since his divorce. I did not want to ruin that. But now, I see it clearly. As soon as Derek got stable, as soon as he had money coming in again, everything changed. He stopped being grateful. He started acting like he owned the place. Little comments about how I should update the kitchen, how the furniture was old-fashioned, how the house would be worth more if we renovated. Like it was already his. I need time to think about this, I finally say, my voice coming out quieter than I want. Derek nods. Take all the time you need, Dad. But just so you know, if we have to go the legal route, it is going to get messy, expensive, stressful. Wouldn't it be easier to just make this transition voluntarily? He and Cassandra leave for work shortly after, Derek grabbing his laptop bag, Cassandra touching up her lipstick in the hallway mirror, like she has not just helped threaten to take everything from me. The front door closes behind them, and I stand in my kitchen, the morning sun streaming through the windows I installed, in the house I built, holding a property deed that suddenly feels like it might not be worth the paper it is printed on. I look around the room. The cabinets I refinished 5 years ago. The tile backsplash Maria and I installed together, her laughing as we tried to get the spacing right. The kitchen table where Derek ate breakfast before school for 18 years. The growth chart marks on the doorframe that I never painted over, showing how Derek went from 3 feet tall to 6 feet 2. All of it. He wants to take all of it. My hands are still shaking when I pick up my phone and scroll through my contacts. I find the name I am looking for. Gerald Pearson, my friend for 40 years. The real estate agent who sold me this house back in 1995. Gerald answers on the second ring. Bruno, how are you doing, old friend? I need your help, I say, and then I tell him everything. Gerald's truck pulls into my driveway 53 minutes later. I have been pacing the living room the whole time, walking from the window to the fireplace and back again, my mind spinning through everything Derek said, every implication, every threat. Gerald comes through the front door like a hurricane, his gray hair sticking up where he has been running his hands through it. He is 72 but moves like a man 20 years younger. Bruno, he says, pulling me into a hug. I cannot believe Derek would do this. We sit at the kitchen table, the same spot where my world fell apart an hour ago. I make fresh coffee, and Gerald pulls out a legal pad, starting to take notes as I tell him the whole story again, slower this time, including details I forgot on the phone. When I finish, Gerald leans back in his chair and shakes his head. That boy. I remember when you brought him to the closing when you bought this place. He was what, 6 years old? Ran around the title company office, looking at all the files. And now he wants to kick you out of your own home. What can I do? I ask. Can he really claim the house because he paid some bills? Gerald taps his pen against the legal pad. Adverse possession requires continuous, open, and hostile possession for a specific number of years. In this state, that is 10 years minimum. Derek has only been here for 2. His claims are nonsense. But that does not mean he cannot make your life difficult with lawsuits and legal fees. So what do I do? Gerald looks at me for a long moment. What do you want to do? I want to sell it, I say, and the words surprise me as they come out. I want to sell this house right now, today, while Derek is at work. I want him to come home and find out it is gone. Gerald's eyebrows go up. That is pretty drastic, Bruno. He told me I would never see my grandchildren, that Cassandra is 8 weeks pregnant, and if I do not cooperate, I will never meet my grandchild. He is using a baby that does not even exist yet as leverage against me. That is low. Gerald starts writing again. If you are serious about this, I can make it happen. I have buyers looking in this neighborhood. Cash buyers who can close fast. How fast? If we push it, 1 week. Maybe less. I think about it for exactly 3 seconds. Do it. Gerald starts making phone calls right there at my kitchen table. I get up and start walking through the house, really seeing it for maybe the first time in years. I have lived here so long that I stopped noticing things. The way the afternoon light comes through the living room windows. The creaky spot on the stairs, third step from the top. The water stain on the ceiling in the hallway where a pipe leaked 2 winters ago. I go upstairs to the attic, pull the cord, and climb up the folding ladder. The space is full of boxes, most of them covered in dust. I start opening them, finding pieces of my life I had forgotten about. Maria's wedding dress, preserved in tissue paper. Derek's baby clothes. Photo albums from when he was little. I find one album and sit down on the attic floor, flipping through it. Derek's first birthday, cake smashed all over his face. Derek's first day of kindergarten, missing his 2 front teeth. Derek and Maria, building a snowman in the front yard. Derek's Little League team, him holding up a trophy. Maria and me standing on either side of him, all of us grinning. When did I lose him? Was it when Maria died and he was 12, and I had to figure out how to be both parents? Was it during his teenage years when he pulled away from me, angry at the world? Was it in his 20s, when he seemed to be doing fine, building his own life, and I relaxed, thinking I had done my job? Or was it more recent? Was it in the last 2 years, when I gave him everything and he started to feel entitled to it? I hear Gerald calling my name from downstairs. I climb down with the photo album and find him in the kitchen, looking excited. "I have got something," he says. "Troy and Jennifer Hammond. Young couple, pre-approved for a cash purchase, up to $450,000. They have been looking for 6 months, and keep getting outbid. I told them about your place, and they want to see it today. This afternoon." "Today?" But Derek comes home at 6. "Then we schedule it for 3. Gives us plenty of time." I nod. "Okay. Yes. Let us do this." Gerald gets back on his phone, and I start cleaning. I have been keeping the house neat anyway, but now I go through it like I am preparing for a magazine photo shoot. I dust, vacuum, scrub the bathrooms, make sure every surface shines. At 2:45, I am standing in the living room when I hear a car in the driveway. My heart jumps into my throat, but it is too early for Derek. I look out the window and see it is not Derek's car. It is a sedan I do not recognize. A woman gets out first, then a man. They are young, maybe late 20s. The woman has dark hair pulled back in a ponytail, and she is looking up at the house with this expression of hope that makes my chest ache. The man puts his arm around her shoulders, and they walk toward the front door together. Gerald arrives at the same time, pulling in behind their car. I open the door before they can knock. "Bruno," Gerald says. "This is Troy and Jennifer Hammond." We shake hands. Jennifer's grip is firm, and her eyes are bright. "Your home is beautiful," she says. "We have been dreaming of finding something like this." "How long have you been looking?" I ask as we walk inside. 6 months, Troy says. "This market is crazy. Every house we put an offer on gets snapped up by someone with more cash or a better bid." They walk through the house, and I follow them, watching as Jennifer runs her hand along the kitchen counters, as Troy examines the built-in bookshelves in the living room. They go upstairs, and I hear their footsteps above me, their muffled voices. When they come back down, Jennifer is crying. I panic for a second, thinking something is wrong, but then she smiles at me through her tears. "This is perfect," she says. "It is everything we have been looking for. The baby's room upstairs, it is the exact size we wanted. We could put the crib by the window, and there is space for a rocking chair and a dresser." "You are having a baby?" I ask. She nods, putting her hand on her stomach. 17 weeks. We have been trying to find a house before the baby comes, but we were starting to lose hope. I look at Troy, who is looking at his wife with so much love on his face that I have to look away. They remind me of Maria and me 30 years ago, young and hopeful and ready to build a life. "What are you asking?" Troy asks, turning to Gerald. $425,000, Gerald says. "I know it is slightly under market value, but Bruno needs a quick sale. We are talking about a 1-week closing, all cash." Troy and Jennifer look at each other. They have one of those silent conversations that couples have, where whole paragraphs pass between them in a glance. "We will take it," Troy says. "We can have our lawyer draw up the papers today." Everything happens fast after that. Gerald pulls out contracts. Troy calls his lawyer. Jennifer keeps walking through the house, touching things gently, like she is already imagining her life here. I am in the kitchen with Gerald, signing papers. When I hear the front door open, my blood runs cold. It is only 3:30. Derek is not supposed to be home yet. But it is not Derek. It is Cassandra. She walks into the kitchen, still in her work clothes, a tight skirt and blazer, heels clicking on the floor. She stops when she sees Gerald, the papers, Troy, and Jennifer standing in the living room doorway. "What is this?" she asks, her voice sharp. "I am selling the house," I say calmly. Her face goes pale, then red. "You cannot do that." "I can. It is my house." She pulls out her phone, starts jabbing at it. "Derek will stop this. You are insane. You are not capable of making these kinds of decisions." Gerald stands up. "Ma'am, I am going to have to ask you to leave. This is a private business transaction." "I live here," she spits back. "Not for long," I say. She calls Derek, and I can hear him answering, his voice tinny through the phone speaker. She is talking fast, too fast, her words tripping over each other. "Old man, selling, real estate agent, buyers here right now, you have to come home." Derek is yelling. I can hear it from across the room. Cassandra holds the phone away from her ear. "He is coming," she says to me, her voice dripping with venom. "And when he gets here, you are going to regret this. Derek knows people, lawyers, judges. You have no idea what you have started, old man." "My name is Bruno," I say quietly. "And you are a guest in my home. Gerald, would you please show Miss Cassandra to the door?" Gerald moves toward her, and Cassandra backs up. "You are making a mistake," she says. "Derek has been supporting you, taking care of you. You would be in a nursing home right now if it were not for him." "I have been cooking your meals," I say, my voice rising despite myself. "I have been washing your clothes, cleaning up after you like you are children. I have been supporting you, not the other way around." "That is not how Derek sees it." She backs toward the door. "You are going to lose everything. Your son, your grandchild, everything." She leaves, slamming the door behind her, hard enough to rattle the windows. The house falls silent. "I am so sorry," Jennifer says quietly from the living room doorway. "We do not want to cause family trouble." "You are not causing anything," I assure her. "This situation existed long before you arrived. You are actually helping me resolve it." We spend the next hour finalizing details. Gerald will list the house tonight. The paperwork will be ready for signatures tomorrow. Troy and Jennifer will do a formal inspection in 2 days. If everything checks out, we will close in exactly 1 week. After they leave, Gerald stays for a few minutes. "Are you sure about this, Bruno? Once Derek finds out, there is no taking it back." "I am sure," I tell him. "For the first time today, I actually am." Gerald leaves, and I am alone again. I start packing. I go to the storage place, 3 miles away, and rent a unit. I start loading boxes into my truck. Maria's things from the attic. My clothes. Books. Personal items. Things that mean something to me. I am in my bedroom, wrapping Maria's jewelry box in newspaper, when I hear Derek's car in the driveway. I check my watch. 5:15. He left work early. I hear the front door open. Hear his footsteps, heavy and fast on the stairs. He appears in my bedroom doorway, and his face is a storm. "Dad," he says. But the word does not sound like son to father. It sounds like a threat. "If you go through with this sale, you are dead to me. Do you understand? Dead to me. I will make sure you never see your grandchildren. I will tell everyone you are senile. I will have you declared incompetent. I will make your life a living nightmare. Get out of my room," I say quietly. "This is not your room. This is not your house. Not for long." He steps closer. "I have been talking to my lawyer all afternoon. If you sell this house without my consent, I am going to sue you for everything, and I am going to win." "Then sue me," I say. "But right now, get out of my room." He stares at me for a long moment, and I see something in his eyes that makes me sad more than angry. He really believes he is entitled to this. He really thinks I owe him my home. "You know what Mom would say if she could see you right now?" he asks, his voice low. And this crosses a line, bringing Maria into this. Maria, who loved this house, who died in the bedroom down the hall, who would be heartbroken to see what Derek has become. "Your mother," I say, and my voice shakes with anger now, "would be ashamed of you. She would be ashamed that I raised a son who would threaten his own father, who would try to steal his home. Who would use an unborn child as a weapon?" Derek's face goes cold. He turns and walks out without another word. I hear him and Cassandra talking downstairs, their voices too low to make out words. Then I hear the front door close. I sit on my bed, Maria's jewelry box still in my hands, and I realize I am crying. Not for the house, not even for Derek, really. But for Maria, for the life we built, for the son we raised who somehow turned into a stranger. That night, I barely sleep. I lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to Derek and Cassandra moving around downstairs. At one point, I hear laughter. They are celebrating something, planning something. Whatever it is, I will face it tomorrow. The next morning, I wake to my phone buzzing with messages. Friends, acquaintances, even a few distant cousins I have not heard from in years. They are all saying the same thing. Are you okay? Derek posted on social media that you are having memory problems. He is worried about you. Are you getting the help you need? I open the social media app I barely use and find Derek's post. It is long, written in that concerned son voice that makes my stomach turn. My dad is going through a difficult time. He is making some concerning decisions that do not seem rational. If anyone has experience with elderly care or recommendations for memory specialists, please reach out. I am trying to do what is best for him, but it is hard when he does not recognize he needs help. The comments are full of sympathy. So sorry you are dealing with this. Aging parents are so hard. My mother went through the same thing. Stay strong. He is rewriting reality, making me the problem, making himself the hero. I get dressed and go downstairs. Derek and Cassandra are already up, sitting at the kitchen table with their coffee. They look at me when I walk in, and Cassandra smiles. "Morning, Bruno," she says sweetly. "How did you sleep? Do you need help finding anything today?" The implication is clear. She is acting like I am confused, like I need assistance with basic tasks, creating a narrative. I pour my own coffee and ignore them. Gerald calls at 8:30. Troy and Jennifer's lawyer has the papers ready. Can I come by at 10 to sign? I will be there, I tell him. After I hang up, Derek looks at me. "Where are you going at 10, Dad?" "I am signing the sales contract for the house." He stands up so fast, his chair tips backward. "You are not seriously going through with this." I am. Troy and Jennifer are lovely people. They are having a baby. They will fill this house with the life it deserves. Cassandra stands too, pulling out her phone. "This is elder abuse," she says. "He is being manipulated by that real estate agent. We should call Adult Protective Services." "You should call whoever you want," I tell her. "But I am 67 years old, of sound mind, and I am selling my property. That is not abuse. That is my right." Derek comes around the table. His face is red, and there is something in his eyes that makes me take a step back. "You are not doing this," he says. "I will stop you." "How?" I ask. "How are you going to stop me?" He does not answer. He just grabs his keys and leaves, Cassandra scrambling to follow him. I watch through the window as they peel out of the driveway, Derek's tires squealing. I go to Gerald's office at 10 and sign the papers. Troy and Jennifer are there, excited and nervous and grateful. We shake hands. The inspection is scheduled for Friday. If everything goes well, we will close the following Wednesday. I spend the rest of the week packing and dodging Derek's attempts to intimidate me. He brings home legal-looking documents and leaves them on the kitchen counter. Notices about power of attorney, forms for guardianship, brochures for memory care facilities. He is building his case, piece by piece. On Thursday, I get a call from an unknown number. I almost do not answer, but something makes me pick up. "Mr. Bruno?" A woman's voice says. "This is Angela, Derek's ex-wife. I think we need to talk." I meet her Friday morning at a diner on the other side of town, away from anywhere Derek or Cassandra might see us. Angela looks different than I remember from Derek's wedding 10 years ago. Thinner, tired, but her eyes are sharp and determined. "Thank you for meeting me," she says as I slide into the booth across from her. "I know this is strange. We did not part on the best terms." That is an understatement. Derek told me Angela had cheated on him, that she had destroyed their marriage, that she had taken everything in the divorce and left him with nothing. But looking at her now, I wonder how much of that was true. "I heard through some mutual friends what Derek is trying to do," she says. "And I thought you should know some things. Things about Derek that might help you understand what you are dealing with." She pulls out a folder, thick with papers. "These are from my divorce," she says. "Text messages, financial records, legal filings. Derek tried to take my parents' house. Did you know that?" I shake my head, stunned. "We were married for 6 years. In year 4, my dad got sick. Cancer. My parents needed help with medical bills, so they took out a loan against their house. Derek convinced them to put his name on the deed as security for the loan. He said it would help with the paperwork, make things easier. They trusted him because he was family." She flips through papers, shows me documents I do not fully understand, but can see Derek's signature on. "When my dad died, Derek tried to claim half the house. He said my parents had promised it to him as payment for helping them. My mom had to hire a lawyer and fight him for 18 months. She died 6 months after the court finally ruled in her favor. The stress, the legal fees, the betrayal. It killed her. I am so sorry, I say. Because what else can you say to something like that? That is not even the worst part. When we divorced, I inherited a small amount from my grandmother, $20,000. Derek tried to claim half of it, said it was marital property, even though my grandmother's will specifically said it was for me alone. He dragged me through court for over a year. I spent $15,000 in legal fees fighting him off. She looks at me with tears in her eyes. Your son is not who you think he is, Mr. Bruno. He is financially abusive. He is manipulative. He sees opportunity in other people's vulnerabilities, and he exploits it. What he is doing to you, he has done before. Do you have proof? I ask. Documentation? She slides the folder across the table. This is all yours. Copies of everything. Text messages where he admits he planned to get my parents' house. Court filings showing the timeline. He has a pattern, and if you have a lawyer, they need to see this. I have a real estate lawyer handling the sale, I say. Her name is Diane Fletcher. Angela writes down the name. I will email her this afternoon. She needs to know what kind of person she is dealing with. She looks at me seriously. Derek's lawyer is named Todd Brennan. He is known for aggressive tactics. He skirts ethical lines. He and Derek are a dangerous combination. We talk for another hour. She tells me stories about Derek that make me sick. How he would gaslight her, make her question her own memory and judgment. How he would threaten to ruin her reputation if she did not do what he wanted. How he isolated her from her friends and family, then claimed she was the one pulling away. Why are you helping me? I finally ask. Because nobody helped me, she says simply. And because despite everything Derek did, you were always kind to me. At our wedding, you told me if I ever needed anything, I could call you. I never did, because Derek would not let me. But I remember, and I figured maybe you need someone in your corner now. After we part ways, I drive home feeling both validated and devastated. Validated because I am not crazy. Derek really is as bad as I thought. Devastated because my son, the boy I raised, the child Maria and I brought into this world, has been a con artist for longer than I knew. The inspection happens that afternoon. Troy and Jennifer bring a professional inspector who goes through every inch of the house. I follow them around, pointing out things I have fixed over the years, being honest about the roof that is 15 years old and will need replacing in another 5, about the water heater that is getting old. Everything checks out. The inspector finds no major issues. Troy and Jennifer are thrilled. We are scheduled to close next Wednesday at 2 in the afternoon. That evening, Derek comes home from work early. He has been doing that all week, like he is keeping tabs on me. Cassandra is with him, as always. They have become a unit, a 2-person army against me. Dad, Derek says, sitting at the kitchen table like we are about to have a reasonable conversation. I think we have all gotten too emotional about this. Let us take a step back and think rationally. I am being perfectly rational, I tell him. Selling the house in a week is not rational. It is reactive. Have you thought about where you are going to live? How you are going to manage? You are 67 years old. You have high blood pressure. Mom died in this house. Do you really want to leave all those memories behind? He is trying a different tactic now, appealing to emotion instead of making threats. But I see through it. I have thought about all of that, I say. I am buying a smaller place. Something manageable. Something that is mine and only mine. Derek's jaw clenches. You are being stubborn and stupid, but fine. If you want to sell the house, sell it. Just not to these people. I know a developer who will pay you cash. Close in 2 days. $400,000. No inspection, no contingencies. That is $25,000 less than Troy and Jennifer's offer. But it is faster, cleaner, and he will let me stay in the house for 6 months while I find a new place. I can pay rent, help with the transition. We can do this in a way that works for everyone. I look at my son and see exactly what he is doing. He wants to stay in the house. He wants me out but him in. He has already made a deal with this developer. Probably to buy the house himself after the developer purchases it from me. No, I say. I am selling to Troy and Jennifer. We close Wednesday. Derek stands up, and his mask drops completely. Fine, he says, his voice cold. You want to play hardball? Let us play hardball. Monday morning, I am filing an emergency injunction. My lawyer has been preparing the paperwork all week. We are going to block this sale, and then we are going to court. And Dad, I am going to win. Because I have proof that I have been maintaining this property. I have receipts for the property taxes, the roof, every bill. I have documentation of your declining mental state. I have witnesses who will testify that you are not capable of making sound financial decisions. You are going to lose, and when you do, you are not going to have a house at all. You are going to have nothing. Then I will see you in court, I say. He leaves. And this time I know the gloves are off. This is war. I call Diane Fletcher, the lawyer handling the sale. I tell her everything. She listens, takes notes, and then says the words I have been dreading. If Derek files an injunction, and a judge grants it, even temporarily, the sale cannot proceed. We would have to go to court, prove his claims are baseless, and that could take weeks or months. What do I do? I ask. We prepare, she says. We get ready to fight. I send her Angela's folder of documents. I gather my own receipts, bank statements, proof that I have been paying for everything, not Derek. I write a timeline of events, detailed and specific. Sunday night I barely sleep. Tomorrow is Monday. Tomorrow Derek will try to destroy me. Monday morning, I am drinking coffee when my doorbell rings at 7. I open it to find 2 police officers standing on my porch. Behind them, I see Derek's car in the driveway. Are you Bruno Harrington? One officer asks. I am. We have received a report of a domestic disturbance. Your son claims you threatened him with a weapon. We need to ask you some questions. My heart drops. What weapon? I have not threatened anyone. A hammer, sir. He says you waved it at him and threatened to crack his skull open. I was hanging a picture in my room yesterday afternoon. I had a hammer in my hand. I never threatened anyone. They asked to come inside. I let them. They search my room, find the hammer on my nightstand, find the picture I hung on the wall. A photo of Maria from our 20th anniversary, smiling in her blue dress. The officers ask more questions. Derek appears in the hallway, phone in hand, recording. Cassandra is behind him, also recording. I just want to make sure my father is okay, Derek says for the cameras. He has been acting erratically. I am worried about him. The officers can see what is happening. I can tell from their expressions. But they have to follow protocol. They take statements from everyone. They note that there are no witnesses, except Derek and Cassandra. They tell Derek that making false reports is a crime. But they also issue me a warning. Stay away from your son for now. One officer tells me. Let things cool down. After they leave, Derek smiles at me. You are going to miss your closing on Wednesday, Dad, because by then, you are going to be the subject of an active investigation. And nobody closes on a house sale when there are questions about the seller's mental stability and potential for violence. I watch him walk away, and I realize how thoroughly he has planned this. The social media posts about my memory, the fake pregnancy to use as leverage, the documentation of financial support, the police report. He has been building a case for weeks, maybe months, and I walked right into it. I am supposed to meet Diane at her office at 9 to go over our court strategy. But when I call to confirm, her assistant tells me the meeting has been pushed to 10, then 11. Then she calls me herself at noon. Bruno, she says, and her voice is gentle. I have some bad news. Derek filed the injunction this morning at 8. The judge granted a temporary restraining order. The sale is blocked until we have a hearing. And because of the police report this morning, the judge also ordered a psychological evaluation. You are scheduled for tomorrow at 3. How long until the hearing? 2 weeks minimum. Maybe more. Troy and Jennifer. They need this house. I know. I am so sorry. I will call them and explain the situation. I hang up and sit in my living room, in my house, feeling like the walls are closing in. Derek has won. He has outsmarted me, outmaneuvered me, used the system against me. I have lost. That night, I lie in bed staring at the ceiling. My phone buzzes at midnight. A text from an unknown number. Mr. Bruno, this is Angela. Derek is planning something tomorrow. Be careful. I text back. What is he planning? No response. I do not sleep. Tuesday morning arrives gray and cold. I go through the motions. Shower, coffee, toast I cannot taste. The house is silent. Derek left early for work, Cassandra with him. At 2, I drive to the office of Dr. Raymond Porter, the psychologist who will evaluate whether I am competent. The office is in a medical building downtown, sterile and impersonal. I fill out paperwork in the waiting room, my hands shaking so badly I can barely write. Dr. Porter calls me back at 3. He is maybe 50, with graying hair and rimless glasses. His office is filled with books and has a view of the parking lot. He gestures to a chair across from his desk. "Mr. Harrington," he says, "I understand you have been through quite an ordeal recently." I tell him everything: the demand to move out, the plan to sell, Derek's threats, the injunction, the police report. I talk for almost an hour, and Dr. Porter takes notes, occasionally asking questions. "How is your memory generally?" he asks. "Fine," I say. "I forget small things sometimes. Where I put my keys, but nothing unusual for someone my age." "Any confusion? Disorientation?" "No." "Depression? Anxiety?" I laugh, but it comes out bitter. "Wouldn't you be anxious if your son was trying to steal your house?" He asks me to do some cognitive tests. Remember these words, and repeat them back. Count backward from 100 by sevens. Draw a clock showing a specific time. I do them all correctly, but I can feel my stress levels rising with each task. Am I doing well enough? What if I make a mistake? What if he thinks I am incompetent because my hand shakes when I draw? After 2 hours, Dr. Porter sets down his pen. "Mr. Harrington, I am going to be honest with you. You show signs of acute stress and situational anxiety, which is completely understandable given your circumstances. However, I do not see any evidence of cognitive impairment or incompetency. I am going to recommend continued monitoring and perhaps some therapy to help you process this family conflict, but I will not be recommending guardianship or restricted decision-making capacity." Relief floods through me. "Thank you. But," he adds, and my relief evaporates, "your son's lawyer will likely use my report to paint a picture of someone under extreme stress, making potentially poor decisions. They will argue that the stress itself impairs your judgment. It is not a strong argument legally, but it might sway a sympathetic judge." I drive home feeling exhausted. I am winning the battle but losing the war. Every victory comes with a caveat, a loophole Derek can exploit. Angela calls that evening. "Did you get my text last night?" "I did." "What did you mean?" "I heard through a mutual friend that Derek is planning something big. He is not giving up on this. Be very careful, Mr. Bruno." We talk for a while. She tells me more stories about Derek, about his manipulations, and each one feels like a knife. "This is my son, the boy I raised. How did I not see this?" After we hang up, I sit in my living room and pull out photo albums. I go through them slowly, looking at Derek's face in each picture. His first birthday, his first day of school, his graduation, his wedding to Angela. In every photo, I search for signs of the person he would become. Were they always there? Did I miss them? Or did something happen to change him? I fall asleep on the couch. The albums spread around me. I wake to pounding on the door. I sit up, confused. It is dark outside. The clock on the wall says 11:30. Who is knocking at 11:30 at night? I open the door. Police officers again. Different ones this time. "Bruno Addington?" "Yes?" "You are under arrest for assault." "What?" "I have not assaulted anyone. Your son has filed charges. He claims you struck him during an argument earlier tonight." I was asleep on my couch. Derek is not even home. His car is not in the driveway. "Sir, we need you to come with us." They put handcuffs on me. They read me my rights. I am walked to a police car in my own driveway, and as they put me in the back seat, I see a light turn on in a neighbor's window. Tomorrow, everyone will know. Everyone will believe Derek's version of events. At the station, I am fingerprinted, photographed, put in a holding cell. Gerald arrives at 2 in the morning to bail me out, his face red with anger. "This is outrageous," he keeps saying. "Derek has gone too far." I am released at 2:30. Gerald drives me home. Derek's car is in the driveway now. The lights in the house are on. "I cannot go in there," I tell Gerald. "I cannot face him." "You have to," Gerald says gently. "It is your house. You cannot let him push you out." But I am so tired, so defeated. What is the point of fighting when Derek keeps winning? Gerald stays with me. We sit in his car in my driveway for an hour, and he talks me through it, reminds me that I have come this far, that Troy and Jennifer are counting on me, that Maria would want me to stand up for myself. Finally, I go inside. Derek is in the kitchen, eating cereal like it is a normal Tuesday night, and not 2:45 in the morning after having his father arrested. "Have a nice time downtown?" he asks without looking up. "Why are you doing this?" I ask, my voice breaking. "I am your father, and this is my house," he says. "Or it will be, one way or another." I go to my room and lock the door. I I do not sleep. I cannot. Morning comes. I have the court hearing tomorrow. Everything depends on it. I need to be sharp, prepared, ready. But I feel like I am falling apart. Diane calls at 8. I need you to come to my office. We have a lot of work to do before tomorrow. I spend all day with her, going over every detail, preparing for every possible argument Derek's lawyer might make. She has Angela's documents. She has proof that I paid for everything, not Derek. She has character witnesses ready to testify. She has the handwriting expert who will prove the note Derek showed the judge was forged. But she also warns me. Derek's lawyer is good. He is going to try to make you look incompetent, unstable, unable to manage your affairs. He is going to bring up the police reports, the psychological evaluation, your age. You need to stay calm, no matter what he says. I can do that, I tell her, but I am not sure I believe it. That night, I lie in bed and think about Maria. If she were here, what would she tell me? Would she tell me to give up? To let Derek have the house? To walk away from the fight? Or would she tell me to stand my ground? To protect what we built together? I think I know the answer. Maria was the strongest person I ever knew. When she got sick, when the cancer came back for the 3rd time, and the doctors said there was nothing more they could do, she did not give up. She fought until her last breath. Not because she thought she could win, but because she refused to surrender. I have to do the same. My phone buzzes. Another text from the unknown number. Tomorrow morning, check your son's phone records from 2 years ago, the ones from 3 months before he moved in with you. Trust me. I stare at the text. How would I get Derek's phone records? And why would records from 2 years ago matter now? Then I remember. Angela. She would have had access to their phone records when they were married. She would have kept everything from the divorce. I text her. Do you still have Derek's phone records from 2 years ago? She responds immediately. Yes. Why? Someone just told me to check the ones from 3 months before he moved in with me. Do you still have those? 30 seconds later, my phone rings. Angela's voice is urgent. I am looking at them right now. Oh my God. Mr. Bruno, Derek was planning this from the beginning. What do you mean? 3 months before he moved in with you, he was texting with someone named Brad. They're talking about your house. Derek says the house is worth at least $450,000. He says, once he moves in, he can establish residency, start paying some bills, build a case for ownership. He says you are old and lonely, and will believe anything he tells you. He says, this is his retirement plan. My stomach drops. He planned this. From the beginning. The whole thing. There is more, Angela says. He texted Cassandra too. 6 months before she moved in, he told her about you, about the house. He told her to act sweet and sympathetic, to play the role of caring girlfriend. He told her they could flip the house and split the money. Send me everything, I tell her. Right now. Send it to Diane. Already doing it, she says. I hang up and sit on my bed, shaking. Derek did not come to me because he needed help. He came because he wanted to steal from me. Everything was a lie. Every tear, every moment of vulnerability, every time he called me dad. All of it was a performance. I do not sleep that night. I cannot. Tomorrow, everything will be decided. Wednesday morning, the hearing. I dress in my best suit, the one I bought for Derek's wedding. The irony is not lost on me. Gerald picks me up at 8. Diane is meeting us at the courthouse. The hearing is scheduled for 9. We arrive early. The courthouse is busy, people rushing past with briefcases and folders. Diane is waiting outside the courtroom, and she looks tense. We have a problem, she says. Derek's lawyer filed a last-minute motion. He has a document he wants to present. The judge is going to allow it. What document? She shows me a photocopy. It is a handwritten note on lined paper. I want Derek to have the house when I am gone. It is his home now. Let him build his life here. The signature at the bottom looks like mine. I never wrote that, I say immediately. I know. And I have the handwriting expert ready to testify. But Bruno, this looks convincing. Derek's lawyer is going to argue that this note shows your clear intent to give Derek the house, and that you are only changing your mind now because of your declining mental state. Can he do that? He is doing it. We go into the courtroom. It is smaller than I expected, wood-paneled and formal. The judge is already seated, an older woman with steel-gray hair pulled back tightly. She looks stern. No nonsense. Derek is there with Cassandra and Todd Brennan. Todd is younger than I expected, maybe 40, with slicked-back hair and an expensive suit. He looks confident, cocky even. Angela is sitting in the back row. She gives me an encouraging nod. The bailiff calls the court to order. The judge reviews the case quickly, then looks at Todd. Counselor Brennan, you may present your client's case. Todd stands. Your Honor, this case is simple. My client, Derek Harrington, has been living in and maintaining his father's property for 2 years. He has paid utilities, property taxes, maintenance costs. He has documentation of every expense. He has established residency and has a reasonable expectation that the property would eventually be his, as evidenced by this note his father wrote 3 years ago. He presents the forged note. The judge examines it. Mr. Harrington, did you write this note? The judge asks me. No, Your Honor, I say firmly. I did not. Todd jumps in. Your Honor, my client's father is 67 years old. He has recently been evaluated by a psychologist who noted significant stress and possible depression. He has been arrested twice in the past week for threatening and assaulting his son. His memory is clearly failing. He may not remember writing this note, but the handwriting is his. Diane stands. Your Honor, I have a handwriting expert prepared to testify that this note is a forgery. I also have evidence that Mr. Bruno Harrington has been paying all property expenses, not his son. The so-called documentation Derek Harrington has provided is misleading and incomplete. The judge nods. I will hear from both sides. Call your first witness, Counselor Brennan. Todd calls Derek to the stand. Derek walks up looking solemn and concerned, the perfect image of a devoted son. Derek? Todd says. Tell the court about your relationship with your father. Derek takes a deep breath. My dad and I have always been close. After my mom died when I was 12, it was just the two of us. He raised me alone. I know how hard that was for him. 2 years ago, when I went through my divorce, I was in a bad place. Dad took me in without hesitation. He has always been there for me. And you have been there for him? Todd prompts. Absolutely. I could see he was struggling. The house was getting to be too much for him. Things were falling into disrepair. His memory was getting worse, so I started helping, paying bills, fixing things, taking care of him. Did your father ever express his wishes about the house? Yes. Many times he told me this house would be mine someday, that he wanted me to raise my own family here, just like he raised me. That is why I was so shocked when he suddenly decided to sell. It was completely out of character. I knew something was wrong. Todd presents the forged note again, and Derek confirms it looks like his father's handwriting. He talks about my supposed memory problems, my confusion, my erratic behavior. He even manages to cry a little when describing how hard it has been watching his father decline. Diane cross-examines him. Mr. Harrington, you claim you paid the property taxes on your father's house. Do you have proof of that? Derek fumbles. I have receipts for various expenses. But not the property taxes specifically? I might have paid them. I paid a lot of bills. Diane produces county records. According to these documents from the county tax assessor, the property taxes on that address have been paid by Bruno Harrington for the past 15 years. Not once in that time has your name appeared on a payment. Derek's face reddens. Maybe I was mistaken about that specific bill, but I paid plenty of others. Let us talk about the roof repair you mentioned. You said you paid $8,000 to replace the roof last summer? I did. Diane pulls out a receipt. This is the actual roofing invoice. It shows payment from Bruno Harrington for $4,000, half the cost. The other half was covered by his homeowner's insurance claim. You did not pay for the roof, did you, Mr. Harrington? We split it, Derek insists. Where is your receipt? He does not have one. We can all see it. Diane continues. You claim your father has memory problems. Can you give specific examples? He forgets where he puts things. His keys. His wallet. That is not memory loss. That is normal for anyone. Do you have any medical documentation of cognitive decline? Derek hesitates. The psychological evaluation, which stated that your father shows no signs of cognitive impairment, only situational stress. Caused, I might add, by your attempts to steal his house. Todd objects. Diane rephrases. But the damage is done. Derek looks rattled. Diane calls Angela to the stand. Angela tells her story calmly, clearly. She describes Derek's pattern of financial manipulation. She presents the text messages, showing Derek's plans from 2 years ago. Todd objects repeatedly. The judge allows the testimony, but looks skeptical. Then Diane drops the bombshell. She calls a handwriting expert, a woman named Dr. Sarah Mitchell. Dr. Mitchell examines the forged note under magnification, on a screen visible to the whole court. This signature was traced, not written naturally, she testifies. You can see microtremors here and here. consistent with someone slowly following a pattern rather than signing their own name. The pressure is uneven. The flow is interrupted. This is definitely a forgery. Todd tries to discredit her, but her credentials are impeccable. She has testified in hundreds of cases. She knows what she is talking about. The judge calls a recess. We step into the hallway. It is going well, Diane tells me, but I cannot guarantee anything. Judges are unpredictable. During the recess, I see Cassandra on her phone in the hallway. She is standing away from Derek, around a corner. She does not see me. I edge closer, not meaning to eavesdrop, but unable to help myself. Baby, I know this is hard, she says into the phone, but once we get the house, we can kick the old man out and flip it. Derek thinks we are keeping it, but we will make 300 grand easy. Then you and I can finally start our real life together. My heart pounds. I pull out my phone and start recording. I get maybe 30 seconds before she turns and sees me. Were you listening to me? She hisses. I walk back to Diane. I just heard Cassandra on the phone. She is planning to betray Derek too. She is planning to flip the house and take the money. She called someone else baby. Diane's eyes widen. Did you record it? I try, but she saw me. I only got a few seconds. That is okay. We have something better. Diane makes a quick phone call. Remember when I told you I might hire a private investigator? I did. 3 days ago. He has been following Cassandra. If she made that call in public, he might have recorded it. 20 minutes later, we are back in the courtroom. Diane stands. Your Honor, I have additional evidence to present. Evidence that Derek Harrington and Cassandra Price have been conspiring to defraud Bruno Harrington from the beginning. She plays a recording. Clear, high-quality audio. Cassandra's voice. Once we flip the house, you and I can finally be together. Derek is just a meal ticket. The old man's house is worth $500,000. We split it, and we are set for life. The courtroom erupts. Derek jumps up, his face white. Cassandra tries to run, but the bailiff blocks the door. Your Honor, Todd stammers. I had no knowledge of this. The judge bangs her gavel. Order. She glares at Derek and Cassandra. This court does not look kindly on fraud and deception. Derek is staring at Cassandra like he has never seen her before. You were using me? Cassandra does not answer. She looks trapped, cornered. The judge turns to Derek. Mr. Harrington, do you have anything to say for yourself? Derek's composure cracks completely. He starts yelling. At Cassandra. At me. At the judge. This is not fair. That house should be mine. I gave up 2 years for that house. My father owes me. Security moves toward him. Todd tries to calm him down. But Derek is beyond reason now. He lunges toward me, screaming. You have destroyed my life. You have taken everything from me. You are not my father anymore. Gerald steps between us. Security grabs Derek. The judge is shouting for order. Derek is physically restrained, still screaming, still trying to get to me. The judge orders him removed from the courtroom. As they drag him out, he is crying now, ugly sobs. Everything I worked for, everything I planned, you ruined it all. The courtroom is silent after he is gone. Cassandra is sitting in her seat, staring at the floor. The judge takes a long breath. Based on the evidence presented today, I am dismissing all of Derek Harrington's claims. The injunction is dissolved. Mr. Bruno Harrington is free to proceed with the sale of his property. Furthermore, I am referring the forged document to the district attorney for potential criminal prosecution. She looks at me. Mr. Harrington, I apologize for what you have been put through. Your son should be ashamed of himself. We are outside the courthouse when police arrive to arrest Derek. He is charged with forgery and assault. They put him in handcuffs, and he looks at me one last time as they put him in the police car. I destroyed his life, Dad, he says quietly. I had nothing, and you have everything. It is not fair. I gave you everything, I tell him, and you threw it away. They drive him away. The next 2 weeks pass in a blur. Troy and Jennifer close on the house. The sale goes through without any more problems. I hand them the keys on a Friday afternoon, and Jennifer cries as she walks through the empty rooms, imagining her future. Thank you, she says, hugging me. Thank you for fighting for this. You would have done the same, I tell her. I move into my new house the same day. It is smaller, a 2-bedroom place in a quiet neighborhood 15 minutes away. Gerald helps me move. Angela stops by with pizza. We sit on my new living room floor, surrounded by boxes, and eat dinner together. What happened to Derek? Angela asks. He took a plea deal, I say. Probation, community service, Anger management classes. He lost his job because of the arrest. Cassandra left him immediately, moved out of state. The pregnancy was a lie. She was never pregnant. I am not surprised, Angela says sadly, about any of it. We sit in silence for a while. Then Angela asks, "Are you okay?" I do not know how to answer that. Am I okay? My son tried to steal my house. He manipulated me, lied to me, called the police on me, had me arrested. He is facing criminal charges because of his own actions. My relationship with him is destroyed, maybe forever. But I am sitting in my own house, the one I chose, the one I bought with my own money. I am surrounded by people who care about me. I am safe. I will be okay, I finally say, eventually. Gerald stays late helping me unpack. We set up my bedroom, hang pictures on the walls. One of them is the photo of Maria from our 20th anniversary. She looks so happy in that picture, so alive. She would be proud of you, Gerald says quietly. Would she? I ask. I lost our son. You did not lose him. He lost himself. And he lost you. That is on him, not you. Over the next few days, I settle into my new routine. I plant tomatoes in my small backyard. I join a card club at the community center. I meet my neighbors, a retired couple named Frank and Louise, who invite me over for dinner. Life goes on. 1 month after the hearing, I receive a letter. It is from Derek. The return address is his friend's apartment where he has been staying. I debate whether to open it. Part of me wants to throw it away, to cut him out of my life completely, but I am still his father, despite everything. So I open it. The letter is long. Derek apologizes, sort of. He admits he was wrong to try to take the house. He admits the note was forged. He admits Cassandra was manipulating him. But then he shifts into blaming. He says I humiliated him publicly. That I could have handled things privately instead of dragging him through court. That I chose strangers over my own son. He does not get it. He still does not understand that he brought all of this on himself. I write back. My letter is short. I forgive you for what you did. But forgiveness does not mean pretending it did not happen. Until you take full responsibility for your actions, until you stop making excuses and blaming others, we cannot have a relationship. I am your father, and I will always love you. But I will not be your victim. I mail the letter and try to move on. 3 months pass. Angela starts dating someone new, a kind man named Frank who treats her well. She brings him to meet me one Saturday, and we have lunch at my house. They are good together, happy. It gives me hope that good things can happen after bad experiences. Gerald and I play cards every Thursday. Sometimes Angela joins us. We talk about everything except Derek. It is an unspoken agreement. We are all trying to heal. I think about Maria a lot. What would she think of all of this? Would she be disappointed in Derek? Would she be disappointed in me for selling the house we built together? But then I remember something she told me when she was dying. She was in our bedroom, the hospice bed set up by the window so she could see the garden. I was holding her hand. This house is just a building, Bruno, she said. It is wood and nails and paint. What made it a home was us. Our love. Our family. Do not hold on to it so tightly that you forget to live. I think I understand now what she meant. The house was important, but it was not more important than my dignity, my safety, my peace. Maria would understand why I sold it. She would understand why I fought. 6 months after the hearing, I am working in my garden when my phone rings. Unknown number. I answer hesitantly. Dad? Derek's voice. I have not heard it in 6 months. I do not say anything. Just wait. I have been going to therapy, he says. Twice a week. Court ordered it first, but I kept going after the requirement ended. And I have been working through things. Understanding things. He pauses. I wait. I was wrong, he says, and his voice breaks. About everything. The house. The way I treated you. The things I said. I was so angry after my divorce. I felt like a failure. Like I had lost everything. And when you took me in, instead of being grateful, I started resenting you. Because you had everything I wanted. Stability. Peace. A home. And I convinced myself I deserved it more than you did. That I had earned it somehow. He is crying now. I can hear it in his voice. I am not asking you to forgive me. I do not deserve that. I just wanted you to know that I finally understand what I did. How badly I hurt you. And I am sorry. Really, truly sorry. I sit on my garden bench, the phone pressed to my ear, tears running down my own face. Thank you for telling me that, I finally say. Can I see you sometime? He asks. Not now. I know I do not have the right to ask. But someday? Maybe? Maybe, I say. Someday. We hang up. I sit in my garden for a long time, watching the sun move across the sky. I do not know if Derek and I will ever have a real relationship again. I do not know if he has truly changed, or if this is just another manipulation. But I know that I did the right thing. I stood up for myself. I protected what was mine. I refused to be a victim. And that has to be enough. 1 year after the hearing, I am sitting on my porch on a Sunday afternoon when a car pulls up. I do not recognize it at first. Then Derek gets out. He looks different, thinner. His hair is shorter. He is wearing jeans and a plain shirt, not the expensive clothes he used to favor. He walks up my driveway slowly, like he is not sure he is welcome. "Hi, Dad," he says. "Derek." He gestures to the porch steps. "Can I sit?" I nod. He sits on the bottom step, keeping distance between us. We sit in silence for a few minutes. Then he speaks. "I have been working construction for the past 8 months. It does not pay much, but it is honest work. I am living in a small apartment, 1 bedroom. It is nothing fancy, but it is mine. I pay my own bills. I am rebuilding." "That is good," I say. "I finished my probation last month, completed all my community service, the anger management classes. I have been in therapy this whole time, working through why I did what I did, understanding the damage I caused." He turns to look at me. "I owe you more than an apology. I owe you amends, real ones. So I want you to know that I paid back Angela's mother's estate, the money her family lost fighting me. It took me a year, making payments every month, but I paid every cent. I wrote her a letter apologizing for what I put her through. I did not know that," I say quietly. "I also tracked down the people Cassandra and I scammed. Yes, we scammed people. Before you. I helped her run a scheme targeting elderly homeowners. I helped her convince 3 other people to sell their houses under false pretenses. We kept the difference between market value and what we paid them. I found those people, and I am making restitution. It is going to take me years, but I am going to pay back every dollar." My chest feels tight. I never knew it went that far. I was a con artist, Dad. A thief. I targeted vulnerable people, and I took advantage of them. And the worst part is, I targeted you, my own father. The man who raised me, who sacrificed everything for me. I looked at your grief over Mom, your loneliness, and I saw opportunity. That is sick. That is evil. And I have to live with that for the rest of my life. He wipes his eyes. I am not here to ask for forgiveness. I am not here to ask for a relationship. I am here because my therapist said I need to tell you the truth. All of it. No more lies. No more manipulation. Just the truth. So here it is. I plan to take your house from the day I moved in. Cassandra and I had it all worked out. We were going to get you declared incompetent, get guardianship, sell the house, and split the money. Then we were going to disappear. You would have ended up in some state facility with nothing. And I was okay with that. I was actually okay with that. I feel sick hearing it said out loud. But you fought back, Derek continues. You stood up for yourself, and you exposed me for what I really was. You saved yourself, Dad. And in a weird way, you saved me too. Because if you had not stopped me, I would have kept going. I would have kept hurting people. I would have destroyed myself completely. He stands up, preparing to leave. I just wanted you to know that I am trying to be better. I am trying to become someone Mom would have been proud of. Someone you can be proud of. I do not know if I will ever get there, but I am trying. Derek, I say, and he stops. I have thought a lot about what happened, about where I went wrong as your father, about what I could have done differently. He shakes his head. You did not go wrong. I went wrong. You were a good father, the best. I made my own choices, and they were terrible choices. That is on me, not you. I stand up and walk to the porch railing. Your mother used to tell me that raising a child is like planting a tree. You give it good soil, water, sunlight. You protect it from storms. You prune it when necessary. But at some point, the tree grows on its own. It chooses which way to reach, which branches to extend. All you can do is hope you gave it a strong enough foundation. I turn to look at him. I gave you the best foundation I could, Derek. I loved you. I taught you right from wrong. I showed you how to work hard, how to treat people with respect, how to value integrity. You chose to ignore those lessons. That was your choice, not my failure. Derek nods, tears streaming down his face. Thank you for saying that. But, I continue, I am glad you are making amends. I am glad you are trying to be better. That takes courage. That takes strength. And maybe, if you keep at it, someday we can rebuild something. Not what we had before. That is gone. But something new. Something honest. I would like that, he says quietly. More than anything, he leaves. I watch his car disappear down the street, and I feel something I have not felt in a long time. Not forgiveness exactly. Not yet. But hope. Hope that maybe my son is finding his way back to the person he was supposed to be. I sit back down on my porch and think about the past year, about everything I learned, about the price of standing up for yourself, and the cost of staying silent. I learned that you can love someone and still set boundaries. That being a parent does not mean being a doormat. That respect has to flow both ways, even in families. Especially in families. I learned that sometimes walking away is not giving up. Sometimes it is refusing to be destroyed. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for someone is let them face the consequences of their actions. I learned that home is not just a building. It is not walls, and a roof, and a piece of property. Home is where you feel safe, where you are valued, where you can be yourself without fear. My old house was beautiful. Maria and I built it with love and hope and dreams, but it stopped being home when Derek tried to take it from me. This small house, with its 2 bedrooms and modest yard, this is home now, because it is mine, because I chose it, because nobody can take it away from me. The doorbell rings. I open it to find Angela and Frank, holding a casserole dish and a bottle of wine. Dinner delivery, Angela says with a smile. Frank made his famous lasagna. We eat together on my porch, watching the sun set. We talk and laugh, and for the first time in a long time, I feel genuinely happy. Not just content, not just peaceful, but happy. As they are leaving, Angela hugs me. "You did good, Mr. Bruno," she whispers. "You did real good." After they leave, I clean up and sit in my living room. Maria's picture is on the mantel, smiling down at me. I raise my glass of wine to her. "We did okay," I tell her. "Our boy went off the rails, but maybe he is finding his way back, and I am okay. Better than okay. I am free." I think about Derek's words, about him trying to become someone we could be proud of. I hope he succeeds. I hope he finds his way. But if he does not, I know now that it is not my responsibility to save him. It is not my job to sacrifice myself so he can feel comfortable. My job is to live my life with dignity and integrity. To protect myself. To build a new home, a new routine, a new kind of happiness. And that is exactly what I am doing. 3 days before Christmas, I get a card in the mail. It is from Derek. Inside is a simple message. "Thank you for not giving up on me, even when I gave you every reason to. I am still working on becoming someone worthy of your love. Merry Christmas, Dad." I put the card on my mantel, next to Maria's picture. On Christmas Eve, I have dinner with Gerald, Angela, Frank, and a few other friends I have made in my new neighborhood. We exchange small gifts. We tell stories. We laugh until our sides hurt. As everyone is leaving, Gerald pulls me aside. "You know what I admire most about you, Bruno? You did not let bitterness win. Derek put you through hell, but you did not let it turn you into someone hard and cynical. You stayed kind. You stayed open. That takes strength." I did not feel very strong, I tell him. "You were, though. You are. And that is why you have all of us. Because people want to be around someone who fights for themselves, but does not lose their humanity in the process." After everyone leaves, I sit in my living room with all the lights off, except the Christmas tree. It is a small tree, nothing fancy, but it is decorated with ornaments that mean something. A few from Maria. Some new ones from this year. It is enough. My phone buzzes. A text from Derek. "Can I call you tomorrow? Just to say Merry Christmas?" I think about it for a long time. Then I reply, "Yes, call me at noon." On Christmas Day, the phone rings at exactly noon. I answer. "Merry Christmas, Dad," Derek says. "Merry Christmas, Derek." We talk for 10 minutes. Surface things, the weather, his job, my garden. But it is a start. Small and tentative, but a start. When we hang up, I feel something settle in my chest. Peace, not because everything is fixed, not because Derek is suddenly the son I always wanted him to be, but because I finally understand something important. I can love my son without letting him destroy me. I can hope for his redemption without making it my responsibility. I can forgive without forgetting. I can move forward without pretending the past did not happen. And most importantly, I can be happy in my own life, regardless of whether Derek finds his way or not. That is the lesson. That is what I learned from all of this. You are not responsible for other people's choices, even when those people are your children. You are only responsible for your own integrity, your own boundaries, your own happiness. I sold the house to save myself, and in doing so, I found out who I really was. Not just a father, not just a widower, not just an old man trying to hold on to the past. I am Bruno. I am 68 years old. I am strong. I am resilient. I refuse to be a victim, and I am exactly where I am supposed to be. So, let me ask you something. Wherever you are listening to this, have you ever had to choose between keeping the peace and protecting yourself? Have you ever had to set boundaries with someone you love, even knowing it might end the relationship? How did you handle it? What did you learn? I would love to hear your stories in the comments below. Because I think a lot of us struggle with this. The guilt of standing up for ourselves. The fear that setting boundaries makes us bad people. But it does not. It makes us human. If this story resonated with you, if it made you think about your own relationships and boundaries, please hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel for more stories about real life, real struggles, and real triumphs. Share this with someone who might need to hear it. Someone who is struggling to stand up for themselves. Someone who needs permission to protect their own peace. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for being here with me through this journey. I hope you find the strength to protect yourself when you need to. I hope you find the courage to set boundaries. And I hope you find peace, whatever that looks like for you. Take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and remember, you deserve to be treated with respect, even by the people you love, especially by the people you love.